Yo, 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 what's going on, world? What's going on? Let's see what we got here, Jew. Um, let's see what we got here, Minister. All right, so what's going on, everybody, man? Peace and blessings to everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another broadcast. We live tonight. We got I sent the link out to some folks that wanted to participate tonight. I'm just waiting on everybody to get in here. I got Emil's in here with me. I got Cash Flow Kadesia. What's going on, everybody? I see y'all in the chat too. Stacy, Atomic Goddess, B-Low, Ooh Nah Nah, what's going on? Vernita, Cherokee, Misha, everybody. I see y'all. I see y'all. The Phoenix, what's good? I see y'all, man. What's going on? What's going on? Reigning King is in the building. KTG is in the building. Ron Day, what's going on, man? So yeah, so tonight, I call this a night of testimony 2.0. We did one of these last year, and so I wanted to run it back for the people, man. I know y'all used to um I know y'all used to me always teaching off the platform and sharing insight off the platform. I just had a very, very powerful show with Brother Rich this past Monday. So I'm like, man, I got to come off the gas a little bit. But what's interesting about it is we had planned this last weekend that just passed. I said I wanted to come on here and do something with the members and allow the members to come on and share their stories and whatnot. So hopefully we get some more people in here. If not, we just could kick it for a little while and shoot the breeze, man. But really, really, to be honest, um, I think testimonials are very important when you're doing this type of work and guidance and leading people. I'm always pointing to the verse in scripture that says, you judge them by their fruits. Look like we got somebody else back here. Let me add to the stage. All right, they getting on in here. They getting on in here. Sharice, I think the few people that's in here, the mic is muted. I guess when I call on y'all can come on in and unmute your mics and whatnot. But as I was saying, they always say, you should judge a tree by the fruit that it bears, and I'm a stickler to that. Because a lot of times we can just get lost in the message and you're really not reaping any real tangible results for yourself. Um, and you just be on the maybe line, on the holding line, on the waiting line. And so I just, and also another point that I want to make before we get into this evening's build is this. It's important that you show the receipts because you have uh, some people that may be on the fence about spirituality. You have some people that may be on the fence about quote unquote God, right? And so and that's usually younger people. Not all the time, but usually. The older generations, the baby boomers, all those people, they've been going to church 20, 30, 40 years. So that's what they do. But the younger generations, especially with the advent of technology, right? There's just so much information out here where and people every day are demonstrating and showing and proving. And this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with spirituality or religion or any of that, but everywhere you look, people are demonstrating, showing, and proving who they are, what they do. You're constantly seeing people's lifestyle being flashed in front of you. Whether it's true or not is a whole nother thing. But you're constantly seeing people's lifestyle being put in front of you, right? And so for the younger people, they like, listen, everybody keeps saying, come to Jesus, come to Jesus, come to Jesus, right? But the question is this: if they're watching you, if they're watching your life, your lifestyle, and you keep telling them to come to Jesus. A gentleman called me this evening, all the way from California. Shout out to that brother who gave me a ring this evening, about 4:00 my time, Central Time, and we was talking for at least 20 good minutes. And he was saying that, you know, people need to be able to see this thing in real time. And I was agreeing with him on that, because if you're telling people to come to something, but then they're analyzing your life, they're analyzing your trajectory, right? So grandma, ma, uncle Charles, Uncle Bobby, you know, all of these people who've been going to and serving God for all of these years, and yet you haven't seen them. And here's the thing: it's not that everybody's going to be millionaires either, but just to see people on a trajectory where they're comfortable. And so sometimes this type of conversation makes people uncomfortable, because they're forced to have to look at the reality of the situation. And a lot of times people don't want to face that part of their reality. And so it's a Drake bar on one of his latest offerings where he says, I've had my beliefs tested, my faith broken in half. Right? And so a lot of people may be new to me, hearing me talk. They say, oh man, you hear it all the time. People, they surprised when they hear me talk. Man, he's referencing hip hop lyrics with scripture. What type of minister is this? But then I say to him, I see you back here, Chris. What's going on? But then I say to him, and this goes back to the earlier point about you keep telling people, bring people closer to Jesus, but then they're looking at your life and they say, but you've been struggling for 15, 20 years. You've been in the same situation 15, 20 years. Right? So when you look at that, I said, well, no, I'm going to go after the people that these other holier than thou people want to judge. They want to judge the youth. They think the people supposed to come in here straight and narrow, holier than thou as they portray to be. But then I asked them this question. I say, well, listen, the Christ said that he came down here to sit with the sinners and the murderers and all of the people who were considered to be downtrodden. See, this is how I know they're not really going off the tenets of the book. This thing has turned into a whole religious, dogmatic thing. Because the Christ say, look, man, I'm coming to sit down with the lowliest of the low. He said, I didn't come for those who, I came for the sick. I didn't come for those who are well and not need a physician. So when people are talking this way, and they may hear me quote a hip hop lyric and run it parallel to scripture and be like, oh my God, that's blasphemous. How could he compare scripture to all of this secular music? I tell them, listen, what are we trying to do? The church is getting older. It's not getting younger. And it's a reason it's not getting younger, because the younger people don't want to have nothing to do with it. Because one, they're looking at the results that the other people in there who've been talking about come to Jesus getting, which is slim to none in a lot of cases. And two, you're viewing, you're talking to them and talking down to them like they're less of. So, so it's a verse where Paul is talking, and I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember right off the rap, but I had the spirit of what he was saying. He said, if they were beggars, I became a beggar. If they were whatever condition they were in, I made myself parallel to their condition so that I may be able to at least talk to them and maybe pull them into this idea, right? So how are we going to pull these people into this idea when people standing in the pulpit, people standing outside of the pulpit, supposed to be holier than thou, but they ain't even doing what the Christ was illustrating. So it's a we find ourselves in a very difficult spot. Well, they do, I don't, because I'm not cut from that cloth. I don't have to adhere to that type of thing. You know what I mean? I don't have to adhere to it. So I'm like a lone ranger. You know. So tonight what I want to do is bring people on to motivate people, to inspire people, and to get people to view this thing that we call God from a different angle. All right. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to all of y'all over there. Please hit the like button, get the likes up. Let the algorithm know that we're here to have this conversation tonight. And listen, I'm appreciative for all of the people who've subscribed to my channel as of late over these last 4 or 5 months. Thank you for helping me grow the channel. Thank you for the support. Just thank you. You know what I mean? And I know, I've witnessed this. Like on a night like tonight, like usually, like the last 5 or 6 shows, 200-300 people be in here. On a night like tonight, well, I'm sharing the platform and people are actually sharing their stories. 75 people, 80 people, maybe 100 people. And this is reminiscent or indicative rather of the psychology of people. See, everybody in the church on Sunday for the service, right? Everybody in there. And I'm just making this parallel. Everybody's in there on Sunday. But then when it's the prayer meeting, that's the least attended church service, is the prayer service. I wonder why. When you go do the studies all across the United States and the world for that matter, everybody's there, right, for the service, but ain't nobody there in there on the prayer meetings. And I'm gonna tell you why that runs parallel to a night like tonight. See, a lot of times people just want to be around to feel like they heard something. I was there, I heard it. But when it actually comes time to actually put these principles into practice, the actual visual work, the translating of the text, actually reading the text, then it becomes, don't nobody really want no parts of that. Don't nobody really want no parts of that. And the other thing is, they deep down, and they might never say this, they don't really believe it. That's why they're not there. They don't believe it. Because the Christ said, my church is supposed to be a church and a house of prayer. So that really should be the most packed service. Right? And so, man, but it's not. So on a night like tonight, when we're talking about the results from quantum imaging, or what other people would call prayer, then it's like, but I might touch on this on my next broadcast next Wednesday, when I might deal with this whole, the Christ's first miracle turning water into wine, because it's essentially what I'm talking about right now, but I'm going to break that down so you guys can actually see what was happening there. So let's do this, man. Let's get into this thing. Brother Emil, because he was the first one in the building tonight. Brother Emil, can you hear me out there? Can you unmute your mic?
I can hear you, man.
What's going on, bro? Talk to the
Hey.
people. Tell them who you are, where you from, what's the word?
So, Minister Jew, this is Emil. I'm out of Northern Virginia, right outside of DC, and I run my own business. And I've been a member for it's been 3 full years now, man. I came in February of 21, and I was listening to you for a couple years before that. So it's been about 5 years I've been rocking with you, bro.
Wow. We appreciate it, man.
Oh man, it's been awesome. And part of the reason why I can say it's been awesome is because, my life has had some big stuff. Had a big contract last year, but I want to talk about the little things, the little wins that have come through in the past probably 2 months that I think are just as valuable as the big contracts and the big numbers and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you two, one short, one a little longer. This first one, I have been thinking about hiring a virtual assistant for years. And I actually did hire one back in 21 for about 2 or 3 months, but I found that I was not ready for what they could do for me. It was really hard for me to use them because I didn't have enough work for them and I wasn't organized enough. So I said, you know what, I can't support it. So fast forward 3 years and I'm ready. I've got my stuff together and I said, okay. So I go back to the same person who left the firm that I had hired. And she said, I would love to help you. Call me whenever. If I'm available, I'll make it happen. So I called her up. This is back in November. And I told her, I said, I'm ready. And she's like, I'm going to give you to my husband. I said, bet, your word is gold. Your word is bond. Mm-hmm. So she gave me her husband, Mark. Mark is in the Philippines. Mark and Joyce are in the Philippines. And he came on, and this dude is everything I wanted in a virtual assistant. In fact, I turned him into my director of business development. He's that solid, right? Like this dude took on everything. And what really kind of brought it home was before I hired my new virtual assistant, I had put into the universe that I wanted somebody who's going to rock with me hard. Like I didn't want somebody just doing what I told them. I wanted somebody who would run ahead of me fast.
That's right.
And I put it out there. I said, look, if I'm going to bring somebody on board, they can't be waiting for me to tell them what to do. They got to tell me what they're doing.
That's right.
Mark came in, and in less than I said, I want you to start on the 1st. And he called me up 2 weeks before, just before Thanksgiving. And he said, I want to get started now. I know we won't bill you until the 1st, but I need to get started now. So I downloaded everything to him. And when we got to the 1st, Mr. Jew, let me tell you, this dude was already, you need to do this. You need to do this. We're doing this. You're doing this. He built marketing campaigns. He did research. I asked him to look into things. He was calling people from the Philippines here in the States, getting my stuff ready. He was that aggressive. He wasn't just waiting for me. He was like, I got it. In fact, this dude is this is how the universe works. When you put it out there, and I'm telling you, I'm saying it real.
That's right.
If you say you want somebody to be for you on your team, get ready.
That's right.
Because Mark came in and just took over. By the time I got to January, he had said, this is the system we're using. This is how we're going to do it. He had it all laid out. And I'm telling you, my manifestation, my desire was and I felt it. I was like, this time when I hire somebody, they're going to tell me what I need to do, and I'm going to be able to respond to them. So he's actually building his empire with me.
Wow.
I am in his toolkit because he said before he met me, he said, I have been a little bit depressed and I felt directionless. But after working with you, I know exactly where I want to go. He's like, I'm going to change the world and you're going to help me. And
That's
I'm
right.
going to help you change the world.
That's right.
And we're building a campaign. You know, I'm going into professional public speaking, which I did as kind of a side thing. I'm making that a primary focus, and that's where my campaign's going. And then doing some consulting more publicly. He's
Right.
got me laid out video. He's got me laid out ready for email, text, call campaigns. And this is how bad the universe is for real. This dude used to run a 500-person call center.
Wow.
So he knows the game of marketing.
Yes.
Like he understands how, like, and guess where my number one problem is in my business?
Where's that at?
Contact marketing.
Wow.
Getting past that first phone call.
Right.
And that's his specialty.
That's what he does.
He ran the call center for 9 years. Right. Built it up from 2 people to 500 and was the general manager for that call center. So when I tell you that the universe answers, I'm living proof. Now, I'll tell you how my business goes as we get further into it, but I've already manifested the success I seek. It's already there. So I'm just letting my 3-dimensional body catch up to what I've already seen.
Oh, yeah, you talking that talk now, man.
Bro, I mean, I've been rocking with you for a while, and you put words into my head that I didn't know I needed to know, but I had all the concepts. So all we are doing now is we're just putting those concepts into practice in words and phrases. Like, bro, I'm done. I'm not going to tell you the other story. I'll just tell you this. My manifestation journal now ends with a Bible verse, because you said you got to put a stamp on it.
Stamp it, man.
Jeremiah 32:27. And what does it say? It says, "For I am the Lord, God of the flesh. Is there anything I cannot do?" And the answer to that question is in Jeremiah 32:17. There is nothing you cannot do.
That's right.
So those are my 2 verses that I end every manifestation entry in my journal. Those are the 2 verses. I ask the question, is there anything I cannot do? There's nothing you cannot do.
That's right. That's beautiful, man.
And I'm speaking
as
the I am that I am.
There you go.
I'm speaking it. In fact, C. Freeman L. taught me a phrase that I use and adopted, and I borrowed it from him, and I'm putting it with what you've taught us: generator, operator, destroyer.
That's right.
But what do we say? It's God in me.
That's right.
So it's generator, operator, destroyer in me.
That's right. That's right.
So there, I gave it to you, brother. That I'm telling you, we're putting it out there. It's coming back, and it's coming back. Like I have another one. I can't tell you, but I'll just say it is the one that I just hit. That just came to pass. I started that mantra not even a week ago, and today I got confirmation.
That's right. It don't take long. Listen, the moment you get tapped into this thing, that's the thing. It's staying plugged up. You got to stay plugged up. And I know Emil, this brother, he's plugged in.
Oh man. So I started the butterfly effect with you back in October, but I had some disruptions during. So what I did was today is day 21 of the butterfly effect for me.
Oh wow.
I would put it down because I was like, if I can't focus on it, I'm not going to try it. Yeah. I'm not going to power through it. I'm going to put my spirit right. So this is the last day of the exercise. I got 7 cards that I wrote out that I'm gonna put in the mail tomorrow to my friends all over the world.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
That exercise was very, very useful, and I was able to plan some. Matter of fact, one of my mantras came out of the butterfly effect. So this to me, staying plugged in.
That's right. Now this is wonderful because listen, y'all hear what he said. The butterfly effect was months ago, but he knows that if he stays fine-tuned into this thing, right? At some point, he's going to plug into what he knows works. Everybody not going to do that, man. Some people will drop it, leave it to the side, or they'll say they'll get back to it, but they don't get back to it. And so that's the difference, man. It's just constantly riding the wave, man. That's the thing, man. You have to really make this thing. Just like, listen, people make all kind of things lifestyles, right? This right here, though, this mental work, if you make this a lifestyle, your life will change.
Let me share something. This is family, so I'm gonna be very raw.
Mm-hmm.
My father passed on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
He had Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS.
Mm-hmm.
So I had watched him degenerate for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
So New Year's Eve comes, my father calls me and my brother, my sister, and says, "Look, this is it. I know the end is near. The spirit spoke to him and told him what's next. So he called us and said his goodbyes, and he was gone that day."
Mm-hmm.
So something you said a few weeks ago to another person who had called in to talk to you, you said, when you're disrupted, set this aside for a moment, allow yourself to grieve. Don't try to be of two minds.
Mm-hmm.
The grief process is very heavy. It'll consume your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we dropped it, but what I did was I said, you know what? I'm not going to try to manifest anything right. I'm going to put my effort in that until I get through the grief and get through the process. And I just let it happen. So for the last 4 weeks since New Year's Eve, I just restarted the butterfly effect last week. This is I had week 3 to do. So last week I started. Today is the last day. I'll have everything done today. But it was that process of grieving and allowing spirit to speak to me and soothe me.
Mm-hmm.
And we often forget that Jesus, he said, "I'll send to you a comforter."
That's
well,
right.
If God is already in me, then I know that I don't grieve in the sense that, oh man, my father's dead. What's going to happen? It's more like my man was nearly 78 years old when he passed,
Mm-hmm.
and a kid out of Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
and he went out like a G. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I was able to take peace out of the fact that he went out on his terms.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gave me the strength to go back to the butterfly effect, knowing that I had everything. It was all part of my walk, part of my quantum manifestation process to go through that. So I didn't feel pressure. Like, I gotta be manifesting. I gotta be journaling. I gotta be butterfly effect. I didn't feel that pressure. What
Right.
I felt was, it's time to grieve.
That's right.
And spirit speaks to me and says, now it's time for you to get back to butterfly effect and finish that strong.
That's right.
And you'll see everything come through. So I have been very faithful in letting this process unfold very naturally.
Man, well, listen, man, much love to you and your family, and keep being strong and keep progressing, man. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? Continue to live, and your father will work through you, through what it is that you do. You know what I mean? So that's beautiful, Emil, man. I'm glad you came on and shared that, brother. Much love to you and yours, man. Kadesia, can you hear me, sister?
Hey,
Now listen,
peace.
man. Now listen. I gotta make an announcement right here. I had to do this. See, it's some people that'll rock with you for a season, right? Some people come around for a little bit. They be in and out. Let me tell you something about Miss Kadesia. Miss Kadesia been around from the beginning. From the beginning, man. I'm talking about, listen, we was doing trips. Kadesia been rocking with the priesthood for a decade plus. Like, anybody that knows, because we don't even talk about this anymore. Kadesia been around since the Toel Love Fund.
Yep.
Like, y'all probably like, Jew, what is
What
that?
is that?
We never even heard you mention that. All these years we've been hearing you talk, we never. Because listen. Let me tell you just briefly for those that don't know what it is. We have a love fund. You can't even get in it anymore. Like it's not even any way to access it. So the people who are in it are just in it. But um, we created a love fund where we were not are, we still are, been paying people's bills for like 12 years. See, that's the part of the ministry that people really don't know about. Somebody in there said from the podcast days, yeah, you had to go back to Blog Talk Radio to know anything about the Toel Love Fund. So that's how long Kadesia been around. So I just want to give you a round of applause because like it's rare. It's rare. And I appreciate you. And Pooh appreciate you. The Love Fund appreciate you, sister.
Give thanks. I'm
You
so glad. I'm so grateful. Because I wanted to give you your flowers and you give me
I know I
flowers.
just gotta do it.
Yes, yes, give thanks. And y'all are really an answered prayer, right? Because I grew up like most people, grew up in the Christian church. And then when I was 18, I became Muslim and, went through various forms of Islam and, went into the Nation of Islam and came out of that. And then, the conscious community came on the scene. And I was kind of like on the fringes of it, like kind of watching it all unfold. And you were seeing the Hebrew Israelites and you were seeing the Moors and you were seeing all the different tribes or whatever emerge in that community. And I was like wanting to be a part of something, but like nothing felt right. Like nothing just, it was like I like a little bit over here and I like a little bit over there, but like it just, nothing ever felt right. And I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was Brother Rich that y'all were on back then. It was something I caught on YouTube, and I heard you speak, but I also heard Ampu, and the way he was talking about astrology, I was like, oh no, like this dude know his stuff. And then when I found you were talking about the Bible in a way that I had never considered. I'd heard like little things about like it being you, but like I don't know, it was something about you and how you brought the information forward that I was like, okay, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. And so it's crazy because I just pulled out, I have my little notebook that has all of, because back in the day you was like, y'all got to get your notebooks, make sure you keep track of like all of your proof of life of things that are happening. And so like I'm looking at my stuff like from 2017 where I was getting like this check in the mail, that check in the mail, this check in the mail, and writing thank you, thank you, thank you. And it was just, I was like looking through this like, oh my God, it's so much credit card increases. And like maybe I'll send you just a picture of like the pile that I have here, right?
Okay, okay.
Of just different things where I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, practicing, right? So I also remember like you were like sending your, what's your goal, right? So my goal was like, I want to be in a loving, committed relationship. Like that was my thing. That was like everything to me. Like the money was good, all the other
Mm-hmm,
stuff was good. But I want a relationship. I want a relationship, right?
mm-hmm.
So I know what you do when you get that information, right? So like I know it's working, right? But
That's
I'm
right.
like going through like these different relationships. But then also too, what's so amazing about Facebook, right? Because you also was telling us even back then, before we even knew anything about an algorithm, you always used to say to us like curate your Facebook, right? Put the
Mm-hmm.
things that you want to see in your Facebook feed so that that's what's on your mind. So recently I've been looking at my Facebook memories and it's all of this like I was snapping pictures of like I would be out walking and like on a tree. The other day it was a picture I snapped of on a tree. It said, I said yes. And so I like took a picture of it and I was like, I said yes, right? And I was like
That's
looking
right.
at it today, like, oh my God, like I really was like doing it. Like I wasn't even, I don't know, it's weird. I wasn't thinking about it so much, but like I was just doing it, right? And then I had like pictures. I was showing pictures on my page of like men proposing to women and black couples and just oh man. So anyway, I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um then I had like a major thing in my life happen in 2018. Like I was diagnosed with lymphoma. And I remember I reached out to you and I told you what was going on. And you was like, okay. And I was like, I'm scared. And you just like when I said that, you didn't even open your mouth. You ain't say nothing, right? And I was like, he ain't say nothing, right? But then like later I thought about it. I was like, of course, like, no, he not gonna speak to my fear. Like he gonna speak to, okay, this is what you came back with my treatment. Like, this is what you gonna do. This time of day, this time of day, this time of day, blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to the doctor. I was doing all the, earthly things. But every day, I don't care what I was doing. If I was traveling, I would pull on the side of the road if it was a certain time of day, and I would do my treatment, and then I'd get back on the road and go on about my business. So long story short, 6 months later, clean bill of health, right? Clean bill of health ever since 2018.
That's right.
And even now I still practice there's a certain thing that I see when I'm out and about that when I see it, I say, I am completely healthy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm
That's
completely
right.
healthy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right.
That's
To
right.
keep myself in that. And then there's also another practice. I don't know how much you want us to share, but there's
Listen,
a, yeah.
share away.
Oh, okay, okay. So now I'm doing quantum rosary and I do that every single morning. And because I had some side effects that showed up, so I have the clean bill of health, but I kind of have like a little bit of side effects.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm working on the side effects so that can all get cleared.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so uh Ampu got this running joke with me, like, oh, Kadesia, you be up with the chickens in the morning. But I get up to do my quantum rosary because it's
That's right.
quiet, nobody's around. And that's the first thing I do. I get up, I sit on the edge of the bed, and that's what I do. Quantum
Mm-hmm.
rosary, right? So that was like just it's just been so many different things. Okay, so then the final thing I want to share, of course, is my husband.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Cause remember now what you saw on that tree. I said yes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So 2018 I go through my experience with lymphoma, and then the end of 2019 I meet my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like hitting everything. Like we're both from Jersey, we both like house music, we like food, like it was just like an almost like an instant vibe. And long story short, we started dating. Next thing I know, when did you propose? 2022? He proposed to me in 2022. And
He
I said
proposed. He proposed to me.
yes. So there's another little caveat I want to share. It's quantum entanglement.
Woo.
So his first name is Abdullah,
Ooh.
but guess what his middle name is?
What, Kadesia? What, Kadesia?
Jamil. And that's what I call him, right? I call like when he first told me, I was like Jamil, and I was like, I just love that name. I love that name so much. But it didn't dawn on me till literally like a year ago. I'm like,
That's
Jamil.
that's Minister Jew. For those that don't know, that's my birth name, Jamil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So it's been so many amazing things. I had like $80,000 of student loans forgiven recently. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. So many different things. And I'm just so grateful. And I just wanted to give you your flowers. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Kadesia. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, man. So listen, y'all hear the joy in her voice. Like people, like I say it now, people be calling me, they be having all kind of stuff. And man, I just be like, I'll be like, okay, I'll make a PDF for you. Uh I give you the times and the dates and the da 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 da. Da. And I'd be like, okay, you're gonna be straight. Talk to you later. And they'd be like, it to them, it'd be like super serious. But I'm strong in this thing as far as how I view this reality, and we're not gonna give in to it. We just not. We just not. So I appreciate you, sister, for coming on and sharing. You know what I mean? And congratulations on your marriage. You said yes, and you sure did say yes. Somebody else, Medea Brooks. I just was talking about her the other day. She didn't found her husband too, utilizing this information, man. So it's wonderful. So who else we got? We got Christopher in the building. Chris, if you with us, man, can you unmute your mic?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
We can.
All right, man. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, brother. How about yourself?
I can't complain, man. Can't complain. So man, I'm I'm new here, man. I'm new. I'm new to the
Okay.
ministry. Um, I actually dropped you 3 testimonials in like a week or so. And you talked about them on different lives you were doing. So it was pretty cool to see that, man. But the first one, man, was a $500 check that came unexpected. I sent you a picture of it and everything, and I had only been listening to your lives, man, your videos for like just a few days,
Mhm,
and it resonated with me because it was something that I found. I'm like, this is too easy. Like, you
mhm,
telling me that because the way you explain it and break it down, I clicked with it immediately. I'm like, wait, I get it. Because, like most people we've talked about, start off in the Christian church background and all that stuff like that. But, you read the Bible, but you don't really understand it.
mhm,
You leave
mhm,
with more questions than answers.
mhm,
And, by Monday morning, it's worn that high you had on Sundays worn off. You still left with more questions.
mhm,
So I ended up in the Hebrew Israelite church a couple years ago, man. And while I was doing that, they really read the Bible, but
mhm,
still, it's not on this kind of level. But they really dig in the Bible. So there was verses popping out that I had never even seen before. And
mhm,
one of them that stuck out the most was when he said, "Haven't I called you? Haven't I said ye are all gods?"
mhm.
And I'm like, wait, hold up. I've been going to church my whole life. I've never heard that.
That's right.
So I'm like, what does this mean? How are we
Mhm,
gods? Like, how can I be that? Like, what's going on with this?
mhm,
And of course, you don't really go into depth about it. So, but it was something that intrigued me. So I remember when I was listening to you, it was on Brother Rick's show. I think it was a dream.
Dream chasers or dream
Yeah. Oh
masters.
my gracious goodness. So, little side story, man. I'm a military vet,
Mhm,
and I was diagnosed with sleep apnea and insomnia.
mhm,
So I'm up all night,
mhm,
right? It's hard for me to sleep. Sometimes I just wake up in the middle of the night, and I couldn't understand why it kept happening. I kept blaming it on insomnia. But
mhm,
then you were talking about what to do before you go to sleep.
mhm,
That's I'm gonna try it out. All
mhm,
right. So I
mhm,
started trying it out, trying to do the visualizations, which I do anyway. but it's normally focused on all the things I don't want. That's what I kept getting. Right. So I'm going to sleep worrying about, man, how I'm gonna pay this tomorrow. How I'm gonna take care of this. How I'm gonna take care of that. And of course, I kept seeing the same thing over and over and over. So I tried your technique. So fast forward, I told you about the $500 check that came unexpectedly. I mean, just it was a Secret Santa thing. I'm like, where in the world this come from? That blew me away. I said, okay, that was cool. And then a couple days or after I sent that testimony, we had a really hard freeze. I'm in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. So, it don't really get cold down here. We had a hard freeze that night, and they were telling everybody to, drip your faucets and all this other stuff. So before I went to sleep that night, I said, I got to go outside, turn that faucet on. I forgot about that. Went outside real quick. And all I thought about that night was, I hope these pipes don't burst. Because I live in an older home, historic house. The next morning, go outside. It's about 5:30 in the morning. And I hear water just gushing. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. See, Chris, what you done did? I manifested it. Check my pipes. Everything was fine. It's my neighbor's house dripping. Now, I'm going to tie this story into something else. I needed exactly $19.88 to pay my power bill. It was the rest of the bill to be paid. I go over there. She is an elderly woman. I'm helping her out, turn the water off. She said, oh, baby, thank you so much. I didn't know what I was going to do. She walks me in her back door. We go in the house. She walks to her purse that's sitting on the couch. In my head, what's she about to do? She pulls out $20 and say, here you go, baby. Thank you so much. I said, and now normally we've been taught, I'm a Southern boy. You don't accept that. Oh, no, ma'am. I don't know. No. I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth. She handed it to me. I had exactly the amount I needed to go take care of that power bill, right? But the thought that I was having about the pipes, see how that tied in? It wasn't, man, I couldn't even explain that. I was like, man, this is weird.
Let me tell you something. What you're finding out is what I always say on these videos. This thing is neutral. It depends on how you make the observation in your mind.
Okay.
So which should tell you something too on your journey. Always imagine the best.
Right. Okay.
Because it will show up exactly how you dictated in your mind.
Right.
You could have found that $20 on the street too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It could have went a multitude of ways, but keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to reflect on that. So the biggest, well, so far, because it's I'm expecting
that's right.
bigger than this.
Say that again. So far.
Far. So the testimony about me and my wife's micro school. So like I said, I wake up constantly through the night, but now I'm more intentional. In those times, it's always at 2:00 in the morning. I pop up out the bed. Boom. I woke up. It was that very day I had just joined your ministry. It was February the 1st. So I went to bed that night, 2 a.m., which would be whatever next day was, 2 a.m. And I'm laying in the bed, and we had been talking about these scholarship funds coming, and they just kept delaying. And we're coming out of pocket every month, pay the overhead costs. We're not getting reimbursed, and it's stretching our dollars. We're not making a profit, but we're doing this for the kids. So I woke up and I said, I'm gonna do something I've never done before, because all I remember is in the Bible, God said, "Let there be light." He said, "Let this be this, do this, do this." He never asked permission.
No.
He never said, well, come help me with this. He said, let it be done, and it was done. Okay. Jesus, you say you were healed, you're healed. Just now go.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
I said, okay, I'm going to try something. So I laid there, and I said, the scholarship funds will show up in her email as approved. Let it be done. And I went to bed. That was it.
Oh, you cooking. You was cooking.
When I tell you the next day, business as usual. It was a Friday, and I went and met her at the school. Popped up. I actually surprised them, and she was shocked. She's like, "What you doing here?" We got in the car. I had brought her some lunch. We were sitting there eating, and I said, "I said you checked the email, the scholarship approval." And she looked at me. She said, "What? What are you talking about? You been in my email?" I said, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "But did you check it?" She said, "No, but I'll log in right now." Logged in. She scrolled. You know, you put in the search bar. You could put in what you want to look for. She scrolled down. She says, "Oh, it says denied." I said, "What?" She said, "It said, wait, hold up. Now it's approved. What? 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 Huh? We both like, and I'm just sitting there smiling. I'm like, oh my God, I did it. It worked. So that right there, coupled with all the things that have been going on lately, and this is every day. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on. And I'm sure people can contest to this like on a daily basis. And I compare it to when, you know, you want a car, you like a certain type of car or something, right? The minute you say you want to get that, it's like, man, I just bought the car. Now I see them everywhere.
See it everywhere.
Right? It's the same kind of thing because you're thinking about it and you're now seeing it in your world. You can literally command anything. So I don't ask permission anymore. I'm commanding these things. I command it, right?
Now, scripture, they flat out tell you in scripture, this is supposed to be God talking. It says, command you me. That's in the book.
Right.
Command you me. You tell me what to do.
Powerful, man. And again, you just got to do it. Just say it. You know, whatever it is you want. You're doing it anyway without even knowing you're doing it.
That's right.
You know,
you're made to do it.
Right.
It's not even you're built this way.
Right.
And that's the thing. But now, like you said, now you're more conscientious of it.
Oh yeah.
And so now the directive is even stronger.
You know, and I'll leave it real quick on this because you know I'm excited about this. I've binge watched almost everything you got on the internet, man. But there was something else that really intrigued me. I think you called it the when you go back and you can change timelines. I forgot what you called it.
The positron.
Okay, I'm sure I'm gonna learn about it eventually, but out of almost everything, that intrigued me so much because something that my wife always says, you always living in the past. I love history. So I constantly talk about my childhood and things that, oh man, I remember when I used to do this. So I'm always thinking about things in the past. So I have this timeline of all these things in my brain that have happened. One of them that I was thinking about the night I heard you use that phrase and explain it a little bit was when I got out of the military at a very young age. I only did 4 years and I got out and chose the entrepreneurial route, right? And I always wonder like what would have happened if I would have went the other route, which was stay in the military, retire, do all this and that, which seemed to be long-term a more financially beneficial route, right? Instead of these trenches I had to go through as an entrepreneur. You know how that is. So I'm thinking about that. I'm like, man. So I sat back in the meditation state and literally lived that life. Like, what would I have been doing? How would our life have looked? So a couple of days ago, man, this blew me away. I was watching some on YouTube because I'm now everything is filtered because I'm my own algorithm now. They're not dictating my algorithm. Everything is geared around either prosperity, abundance, and stuff like this. Instead of all that other stuff, you know, we from here, I don't want to hear all that. No, I'm done with all that. I done been all that.
That's right.
So I'm sitting there and some video popped up and the guy was interviewing a brother who's a multi-millionaire. I'm like, okay. I had it playing in the background. I was doing some work. And the brother's talking. I look at the TV and I'm like you, brother. I'm bald-headed, dark-skinned brother, got the beard. I'm like, damn, this brother, okay, bro. I'm like, all right, brother, doing his thing. And I turn back around listening. He said, yeah, man, I was a young man, single mom family, household. I was from Columbia, South Carolina. I said, oh shoot, that's my hometown.
That's
Okay.
right.
He said, I went in the military at 17. I said, wait, what? He said, I used to cut grass I said, this man sound like me. This man went in the military and had the same job that I had in the military. Got out at the same time I got out of the military. But the job that I had in the military, I changed when I got there because I didn't like it. It was an IT job. He became an IT consultant, built a coding company, became a multimillionaire. So I sat there and said, was this a parallel? Like, is he? It blew my mind, man. I can't even explain it. I don't even know what the word is for that.
Yes, yes. So you're having a moment where there's an overlap of what you've been contemplating showing up in real time. So
Wow.
it's no different than Kadesia, where she's doing these techniques to bring forth love and relationship, and she walks past in a tree and it says, I said yes. See, listen, 40-second song, deep calls upon deep. The moment you start to pick up that phone, that mental phone, somebody's going to pick up on the other end.
Wow.
And you're going to see replicas or mirrors of that in which you deposited.
Okay.
And so every time you see that, that's more evidence to show you the magnetism that you have. Man, you could draw whatever. You just have to be specific about it now that you know that you're a walking magnet.
Oh yeah.
You
Right
know.
on, man.
Absolutely, man. That's powerful, Chris, man. But yeah, man, you're gonna get the positron. Probably, I don't know where you at, maybe month 2. I forget exactly when it come
I
out.
literally just joined on the 1st. So I'm real new.
Right. Yeah. We gotta take the training wheels off you, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what
But
I'm
see,
saying?
I was
But you
gonna tell
working it now.
I jump in, man. I'm all in because you leave little breadcrumbs in your videos. Like
Man,
you
listen.
gotta be able to read between. I'm like, man, I'm gonna try this. Every time you say something, I'm like, I'm writing this down. And you'll say like join the membership. And I wasn't a member. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna try it anyway.
That's right.
What I got to lose?
You ain't nothing. And everything to gain. Everything to gain.
Right. So man, I appreciate you what you and Noble Amp, right? Noble Amp.
Noble Amp Pool. That's right.
I appreciate what y'all doing, man. It's amazing. One of the videos you did, I guess y'all were in Jacksonville for a retreat. Yeah. I'm like, man. So again, it wasn't my time at the time, because this was years ago. But I'm like, man, they really do get out there, man. But I would have never been leaving reviews, or not even reviews, but testimonials. I'm like, this actually works. And again, it's something you do everybody does it.
You think every day. You talk every day. It's a built-in mechanism, man.
Right. And I will add one more thing for everybody. Turn the news off.
Please.
Turn the news off.
Please.
I notice, man, when you're digesting this kind of information and abundance videos, whatever it may be, that's all you start seeing. Right? With the news, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything. Somebody came to me the other day, man, you heard about it? I said, man, I don't even know what's going on, man.
People be they're so consumed with the news.
Yeah.
And if they keep listening to it, they be afraid to go out of their house.
Right.
Because oh, did you hear what happened? And now what they're doing is they're drawing that magnetic signature. But they don't know how they're made. So scripture tells us that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. But because they don't know how they made, then when the event happens to them, which they've been digesting and taking in from the news and all of these other sources, they'll turn around and confirm it and say, see, I knew it. They said this would happen on the news, not knowing that they're playing part and parcel to developing it in their own reality by listening to it.
Right.
Because see, scripture says you gain faith from hearing, but people hear it and they think that faith in that sense only means the good stuff. No, I say it all the time. It's neutral. You can either take in good news or you can take in bad news. Either way, it's still going to produce a result.
Correct. Correct.
Either way.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man.
Hey man, we appreciate you too, Chris. Man, tell the wife we said hello.
Absolutely.
Much more success with the children down there, man.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you to all of the people that's still here kicking it with us live tonight. We appreciate you guys coming through to hear other people share their stories. I sent out like 10 links. I guess some people got a bit busy. I think I seen Sharice back there. She couldn't get in for whatever reason, but that's okay. We're going to run it back. And Pooh hit me up. He's like, man, next time we do this, we're going to do it together. Because he got some people on his side that having testimonials, checks coming in the mail, all kind of wonderful, abundant things happening for people. And so we just want to share the information. Y'all need to hear these people's voice. Y'all need to see these people's face. I want people to see these are real people. You know what I mean? This is really happening for people, man. So if you're interested and it's something that you want to learn in more detail, you really want to get coached, you really want to be ministered to in the way that I prefer to teach it, join the membership, join the ministry. The link is in the description box below. It'll be the best investment you ever made if you come in and you dedicate yourself to it. I promise you. You know what I mean? Your whole lifestyle will change. This same time next year, you'd be in a totally different position than you were if you really, really, really hold true to the principles and practice. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what it is, man. But listen, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. I look forward to hollering at y'all, talking to y'all on the next broadcast next Wednesday. I think I might cover this water and the wine. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think I might touch on that. But other than that, man, y'all enjoy the weekend. Be safe. Thank you, and much love. Peace.